This is New Day Northwest.
Welcome back to the show. You know, I mentioned earlier that today is International Women's Day, and our next guest is blazing trails in baseball from her beginnings in the Tri-Cities to landing her dream job at the Seattle Mariners. Welcome to New Day, Yvette Yzaguirre. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I heard about your story, and I thought this is a great story to share. Tell us how your love of baseball started.
Yeah, truthfully, it goes back so far. I played sports in middle school and high school and developed a love for softball and amongst other things. But ultimately, my parents are immigrants, and we lived across the street from our high school. They would work at night to avoid the heat during the day in the fields, picking asparagus and cherries and things like that. So I had two younger siblings underneath me, and you know, the only way to keep kiddos quiet sometimes so the parents can nap is just to let them get energy outside. Yeah. So we'd cross the street, and some of the players that I knew from playing sports in school played in a tournament team across the street. So we would go over there, and over time, I think the parents were like, where are these kiddos' parents?
Yeah.
But instead of ostracizing us, they really took us in and started asking us if we wanted to help sell concessions and announce games and keep official scorebook. And so took us in. It was a traveling competitive team, and so they would call our parents and say, hey, can we take the kiddos to Walla Walla or Wenatchee, and so we could be a part of this community.
Yeah. And
it just honestly saved our lives.
Yeah.
It gave us a place to belong. And I love what baseball has done in the community atmosphere it's created, and as an adult, I see that continue to be implemented.
Okay, I love those people, by the way. You're almost making me cry, because it's so important for a child to feel special, to feel wanted, even though you know your parents love you and they're working the hardest to keep food on the table. That someone else stepped in is beautiful. Then in high school, what happened?
Yeah, in high school, I continued to play sports, but there comes a time when people are asking you, what do you want to do with your life?
Yeah, yeah, I know.
That's a daunting question.
It is at that age.
Yeah, so some of my counselors would say to me, think about the things that you love to do. And so I used to help plan proms and homecomings and things like that. So I knew I loved planning events, and I loved baseball. I loved the sense of community. So I was wondering, do these things exist together?
And didn't you meet someone from the Mariners at a school event?
Yeah, so I was a part of a program called DECA. And
we know DECA, yes.
Yeah, it was extremely beneficial, especially like career planning and interviewing. So there was a representative for the Mariners there, and I just was like, I have to speak to them. I don't even know if this type of job exists. Maybe he can help. So yeah, he just answered a few questions for me and offered me an opportunity to job shadow. So I came back, fell in love with the ballpark, the people, the community sense was there. And so I decided right then and there at 17, I was gonna work for the Mariners one day.
Wow. You decided at 17. Not many people know that at that age. And then you went off to college, first generation college student in Idaho. You worked hard for your first sports internship. Your first job after college was with the Spokane Indians partnership team. And then during that time, your brother, who was part of that as well, got sick. And that was eye-opening for you, right?
Yeah, he ended up having a blood clot in his brain, and so visited Seattle Children's a number of times. And they were wonderful. Yeah, they were wonderful. He and I bonded over sports and would tease each other about like people we would see or players and things like that. And so one day the Mariners actually visited Seattle Children's, and he was there at the same time. And so gave the opportunity for our family to be excited about something and not so focused on what he was going through.
Yes, and it's so important to see that. Tell us about your time with the Spokane Indians partnership team and how you ended up at the Mariners.
Yeah, I absolutely love my time there. I did an internship with the Indians and then came on full time. I sold sponsorships while I was there and then activated them. So I learned a lot. In the minor leagues, you wear every single hat.
I'm sure.
And so, yeah, pulling tarp, being on the field, you do everything. And so I learned a lot, hands-on elements. I learned a lot about leadership from those folks. Kyle Day and Otto Klein did a wonderful job teaching me skills. And so they actually were the ones who helped send emails to other teams and ultimately helped me get to where I am today.
Land your dream job.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you do today. What does your job involve?
Yeah, I'm a senior activation specialist in our partnership department. So we get to activate our sponsorship accounts. So you'll see things like T-Mobile Park, you'll see Key Bank, Funko, Toyota, those individuals, I get to activate their accounts. So if you see print ads, radio spots, in-game promotions, things like that, I get to support.
And those are, if you wonder, I mean, those partnerships are so important. That's what helps, you know, support the team, support the game that we all love so much. You've really, it feels like you've made the most out of every opportunity that you've had, big or small. What is your advice to others?
You know, I would say for the opportunity to give, you know, for us it may take 30 seconds, 30 minutes, you know, it's a small sliver of the day, but for the kiddo across from you, it means the world. And, you know, to chat with the 30 minutes that I did with that Mariners representative has affected my entire life. And so I'm just very grateful for that, and I hope that, you know, others just continue to pay it forward.
It reminds me of those people who reached out to you and your siblings at that young age and said, hey, we got your back.
Yeah.
It's important for us to do that, right?
Especially, you know, after 2020 and everything, for the community to come back together is really important, to be there for one another. So.
So great. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited I got to meet you. I'm so thrilled to see what happens next in your career. Please don't be a stranger.
You as well. We'll see you at the ballpark.
We'll see you at the ballpark. Go M's. All right. Well.